So we're back for another VGC guide, and this time we are looking at Toxapex. This is a very passive Pokemon. It's very bulky and difficult to take care of, but it is quite passive. That's the downside of it, because you're playing doubles, two Pokemon can attack Toxapex at once. It can be ignored and you just attack the partner instead, but it does have the potential to just win the game on its own, sometimes in Team Preview. Because it's so bulky, and Poison Water is actually quite a good typing, that could actually win in Team Preview, especially with this set. So this is a set that is eventually supposed to win. I say eventually, like that means it's so passive, but it will eventually win. You can stockpile up and make yourself unkillable. Then you get recovery as well. And then you chip away with Infestation and Toxic. Infestation is going to stack up with the Toxic, while also being an offensive move in case you get taunted. And then Toxic is going to rack up completely as well. As you're a poison type, it's 100% accuracy, so that's really nice as well. And then you'll just eventually be able to chip away at the opponent. So this can just win some games on its own. It's incredibly passive, but it can just immediately win on its own, because it might become unbreakable. So just be careful when you're facing a Toxapex. You'll very rarely face one, but when you do, you need to keep your counters to it. Because if you only have like neutral hits into it, you've lost your super effective hits, you only have neutral and not very effective, Toxapex might be bulky enough that it just wins. So be careful. Also, these are some other moves that you could run. You could run Merciless. If you're going with the Toxic, then Critical Hit Venoshock will actually do okay chip damage. Chilling Water is going to help your survivability as well, because it will get the attack drop. If you're going with Haze, then you don't want to be going with Stockpile at all, but this is going to be potential over Stockpile because you're already so bulky, and then it will stop any kind of setup to try and set up and break through the Toxapex. That would be very nice as well. And the Baneful Bunker is a good protect, because then you can poison them as well. Just be careful of getting the regular poison as opposed to the toxic poison, because toxic is obviously better. You could also consider Wide Guard on the set. I probably wouldn't, because there are better Wide Guarders. Like, the point of this is just to sit on the field and just not be KO'd and eventually win. So yeah, you need to have some kind of answer to this, else it will just immediately lose, and that's actually kind of hilarious.